So let me thank you very much and apologize, obviously, that Abraham was not able to connect. And unfortunately, Papi, who's also my anchor, who does a lot of research for us in the office, is not very well. So I will just start by thanking everybody for, in fact, let me start with you, Elwin, Mr. Garland. Let me start with you and thank you for inviting me to the meeting, and apologize that I was not able to join earlier. As I say, I prefer to join meetings and be able to get a sense and listen to people, so that by the time I contribute, I'm also taking into consideration a lot of things that have been said, and the good ideas that come through, including the criticism that I always appreciate. I always tell the department, criticism and self-criticism is a very good thing for us to do, because then we are not going to be coming here and just speaking for the sake of speaking. So thank you very much. And I want to firstly appreciate and thank all role players of the National Association of Childcare Workers, yourself as the chairperson, for the invitation, the South African Council for Social Service Professions. I hope Langi is here. I also wish to thank DSD and all other government departments that are relevant and have been participating in all endeavors towards strengthening, capacitating, and empowering all of child and youth care workers. And obviously, you've said it to me that we have people from the provinces. I'm very happy with that. I do want to say that having everyone from the provinces, we must also look towards it from a point of view of strengthening national, provincial, and local structures, because people live at local, they don't live at national. So the strengthening of local structures is very, very important for me. And I want to upfront say we are far from achieving our goals, confronted by challenges and obstacles confronting our country, our communities, our families, individuals. I know you are the people know very well what I'm talking about when I talk about challenges and obstacles that we face, especially in the space of young people. We've got problem of unemployment, we've got problems of inequality, we've got problems of poverty. We've also got one of the biggest challenges, also that of violence, and particularly violence against women and children. And I dare say to you that even young men and boys are confronted by this. So as we talk about gender-based violence, we must never narrow it. While I appreciate and understand that it is the women who suffer on it very much, but if we were to deal with it from a holistic point of view, we must get the men and young men on board, so that those who are perpetrators, when men's organizations will say not in our name, they must be able to listen to them. I also wish to thank community organizations, NPOs, individuals, philanthropists, people who really give it their best. Some they make the money and then they give back with their money. We must encourage that when people are in a better situation, they must contribute both financially and human resource side. I also wish to thank the unions, and I know that in the previous meeting, How was there, public service, which is PSA, was there. Thank the universities and other academic institutions who also step up. I also wish to thank international institutions such as UNICEF, which also participates and supports us. And most importantly, for, as I said earlier, the child care workers. They are the reasons why we are here. And as I was preparing for coming here, chairperson, I was looking at the conference resolutions. I was looking at the summit, the summary of proceedings. I was reading through the pages and reading through who made what comments and so forth. And then I was beginning to pick up out of there, from the, for instance, from the resolutions, or the resolutions in particular, And I was saying to myself, we need to yet again, because when I read from the previous summit, I realized that there were a lot of things that the 23rd biannual virtual conference that we had, I was saying to myself, I must put a little bit of pressure myself as a minister, because when I come across statements that say there's not enough political will, it means I must ask myself what exactly is happening, where exactly is where there is a sign of no political will, but make the statement to you that myself as a Minister of Social Development, my task is also to mobilize the other relevant departments and have this engagement, so that we don't end up with just because we are towards conference and then we start doing something instead of being very consistent. So I think that when I was looking at some of the resolutions, also the challenges of child and youth care workers, I'm thanking the department, because between then and now, I think that the unit has done quite a lot of work. Isabella and them have done a lot of work. And I also was looking at the current status of child and youth care workers in South Africa. It's one of the things that are in the resolution that needed to be looked at. I also saw that we have to be looking at the role of child and youth care work in the district development model. For me, this is one of the critical areas we need to look at it, because, as I say, people don't live at national, people are in provinces, but more than anything else, they are at district level. So we must be able to see how many people, how many do we need to have per district, and what are the challenges that are there per district. And I was also looking at the responses from the department and the way forward. I'm hoping that when you looked at all these issues that I'm raising here, this meeting was therefore able to really look at what else needs to be done, where have we slowed down, and where do we need to upscale the work that we do, because the department derived its mandate from the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, which calls for the improvement of quality of life for all citizens and freeing the potential of each person. Now, if we talk about that, freeing the potential of each person, it means we must be able to get a support, so that you are then able to empower those people, the children on the ground, the youth on the ground, so that they can free their potential. So the department seeks to provide a caring and integrated system of social development services that facilitates human development and improves the quality of life. Over and over, Chairperson, I keep saying to the department, we must focus on the state of the people. And when I talk about the state of the people, that also includes young people, and when children and young people and youth. And therefore, we must make sure that we create a conducive environment, not only for the professional workers, but also giving them the necessary tools that they need. The president said to me when I had my review, because the president calls us for review to look at our performance and all. He said to me, Minister, I know that you talk of social professionals, social workers, you are saying there should be 55,000 according to the National Development Plan. He then said to me, I think that is not adequate. When the numbers are not adequate, if you look at the challenges that we face as a country. And therefore, child and youth care worker is a professionalized cohort which is registered through the South African Council for Social Service Professions, which has a statutory mandate to keep a register for any professions for which a professional board has been established. And as a department, we continue to institutionalize the work of child and youth care work across the country. There are, however, several critical issues affecting the professional standing of child and youth care workers and their employment conditions and opportunities that have remained unresolved since the passing of the regulations. I'm hoping that this was one of these discussions that you had, and also the department must have informed you what has been done since the resolutions were taken, because one of the resolutions really clearly speaks to this. And so to date, I hope the department was able to clearly articulate what it has done. For instance, if it talks about workshop to relook at the job descriptions, what has happened since then for the content performed by child and youth care workers, they should have been able to tell you what happened there. Secondly, the department also speaks about having conducted a qualification audit across all social development provinces. They must be able to have spoken even more about that. And in terms of the occupational specific dispensation, DPSA advised that the departments are not permitted to address OCD matters such as grading and employment requirements except the DPSA. Therefore, OSD should be addressing through the DPSA. I'm hoping that all those issues were also spoken to. I will obviously get the report from the department, and I'm hoping that the report of this conference in particular will not take too long for us, so that we can make the necessary focus. So for me, we are also have to support to respond to the unemployment of youth in the country. The department is leading a process to develop strategy for the employment of SSPs in collaboration with social development, provincial department, government departments, and business. I hope the department was also able to speak to you about what we are doing in as far as talking to Treasury, working with Treasury, because there's an issue of our budgets shrinking and all that, and we need to do a lot of work there. So the strategy that's probably the department must have presented to you, it must be, since it's a draft strategy, I'm hoping that it has been widely consulted and inputs have been received and broad support in the different forums. For instance, the intersectoral fora, our MINMEC, we will continue to keep this on the agenda. The technical working group, outcome 4, social protection, community health and development cluster, which is a government one, portfolio committee on social development. And I think that you need to be able to yourselves connect, particularly to the portfolio committee, also connect to the parliamentarians, because they have constituencies. When they come to their constituencies must be able to raise the issues that we were talking about here. And with those words, I really wish to thank you for giving me this opportunity. And again, apologize that I was not able to join earlier, but also indicate to you that I'm very much aware of the issues, because the department tries to get me into a better appreciation and understanding. I do feel that we're not doing enough. We can step up. We can do better. Thank you very much.